we also have the Tactical Operations Management section, known as TOMS, which is not technically a component. They report directly to the Divisional Commissioner, and they are headed by Brigadier Mokoena.
Thank you, General. Just a question for clarification. It seems to me that you have serious commercial crime, you have serious corruption investigations, you have serious organized crime. Is there ever an overlap in respect of one particular matter where all three are involved in a crime, for example? And how do you navigate that?
Indeed, Commissioners, the nature of the investigations that we are conducting tends towards overlapping, because organized crime can, for instance, never take place without corruption. So there's always that corruption element, and then in terms of then subsequent money laundering activities, obviously it goes hand in hand with fraud, and that then includes the commercial space. So it is, there's always that overlap, and we address that by means of a multidisciplinary, multidimensional approach where we rope in all the necessary resources to be effective with an investigation.
General, you said something now that organized crime never happens without corruption. Is that your opinion, or in your experience, that organized crime, there's always an element of corruption involved? And what do you specifically mean by corruption?
Commissioners, by the nature of organized crime, there needs to be enabling factors that allows organized crime to flourish. In order for that to happen, it's my experience that there is always an element of corruption involved in the perpetuating of these crimes.
And by that you mean corruption within what, government spheres? What kind of corruption?
Both private and public space, Commissioners.
Okay. Then, General, if we can go to paragraph 7.
I consider myself to be a career detective. Before my promotion to component head, I had an active role in investigating serious organized crime in the Northwest. These days, my role is more strategic than operational. I am responsible for maintaining policy and standards applicable to the SARCI component nationally. I also monitor the performance of serious organized crime investigation units nationally and guide and oversee investigations within this space.
Can I just understand the oversee investigations aspect of it? You have your investigator and you the component head nationally. So how do you oversee an investigation? For example, let's take the matter that you're going to be testifying about. What is your role in that? Because I'm mindful of the fact that there could be elements of interference where, as a head, you may interfere in an investigation, but it is labeled overseeing. So I just want to understand, are there parameters, guidelines into how you exercise your oversight role?
Commissioners, let me first indicate that within my space at head office, I have investigating capacity within all 4 the sections at head office. So that enables my office to, for instance, take over certain investigations where there's problems, for instance, or where a province is not having the necessary capacity to deal with certain investigations. So it's not something strange for my office to receive a directive to oversee or to take over in its totality an investigation. In terms of the Port Shepstone matter, that investigation was taken over by my component shortly after the incident in 2021.
your component, but at that time you weren't the head in 2021.
That's correct, Commissioner. By then, Major General Kana was heading the serious organized crime investigation component.
You would have heard Advocate Sello saying that there had been some significant developments in the investigation over the past 12 or so months in this matter. So you're saying that this investigation started in 2021 after the theft, November 2021?
I confirm that, Commissioners.
And developments it was only real developments or significant developments, as she said, after your appointment as component head. Is that coincidental?
Well, Commissioner, I don't know if it's coincidental, but I can confirm that there is substantial progress on the investigation subsequent to my appointment. I can confirm that.
And can I ask, this investigation, you said it was taken over by your component. Where was it before that, before it was taken over?
Commissioners, immediately after the housebreaking was detected, the burglary at the Port Shepstone Serious Organised Crime Investigation Unit, the matter was left with the Detective Service at Port Shepstone. Shortly thereafter, a decision was taken by the then DPCI head, Lieutenant General Labia, to establish a team to investigate the matter, and then the responsibility to oversee that investigation, or the investigation by then, was placed on Major General Kana, who has overseen it from then until he went on retirement by the end of August 2024, and I took up office on the 1st of September 2024.
Thank you, General. You may continue at paragraph 8.
The primary purpose of this statement is to give evidence regarding the November 2021 theft of cocaine from police custody in Port Shepstone. However, I will traverse other related topics to give the Commission the necessary context to understand the events that transpired in Port Shepstone.
Okay, we then move on to a new topic, serious organized crime investigations. You may continue from paragraph 9.
Thank you, Commissioners. As stated earlier, I was the Provincial Commander for Soki in Klerksdorp Northwest, and thereafter promoted to Component Head for Soki nationally. In order to understand what Soki entails, it's important to understand what is considered serious organized crime. Serious organized crime is coordinated, structured, and ongoing criminal conduct carried out by criminal groupings involving serious offences which, by reason of their scale, sophistication, or societal impact, fall within the category of national priority offences contemplated in Section 17D of the South African Police Service Act, Act 68 of 1995. Serious organized crime is a subset of national priority crime referred to in Section 17D of the SAPS Act.
You may continue.
According to the DPCI's mandate, the Soki component includes, and this is just examples, it's not an all-inclusive list, Commissioner, national priority violent crimes, such as cash in transit robberies and trafficking in firearms or explosives, both transnationally and nationally, by organized crime networks. Then the second section is the South African Narcotics Enforcement Bureau, commonly known as SANEP, which deals with all national and transnational drug trafficking offences, detection and dismantling of all clandestine drug laboratories and other drug-related crimes. Then the third section there is the Economic Protected Resources section, which investigates offences relating to transnational importing of non-ferrous metals and tampering with essential infrastructure in organised, complex and sophisticated cases, transnational importing and exporting of precious metals, diamonds and chrome, illegal mining committed in an organised fashion, wildlife trafficking, and then human trafficking linked to organized criminal groups or committed in an organized fashion by land, sea, or air.
General, human trafficking falls under economic protected resources. Why is that?
Commissioner, I don't want it to be misleading because it's as if it adds value economically, but it's all about the exploitation of the victims of trafficking in persons, whether it is for slave labor or for purposes of prostitution or other reasons. The reason why it's under economic protected resource is because of the exploitation of the victims. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, General. May I continue?
And then the fourth section within the component is the crimes against the state component, which investigates